Sorry, with all your experience, what's the most important thing of handling fight week with all the training camp complete?
Just to make sure that he rests. I don't mind doing all the stuff that they require, but just to make sure that the fighters rest and that they obviously they have to do some, but just not so much that it makes them fatigued and it makes them tired and it makes them bored. Because the questions keep being answered the same way. I mean, being asked the same way. So to them, you ask the same question, they ask, so they get a little bored. To me, it doesn't matter. But to them, they're so hyped up and they're so ready to go to war that it gets a little boring for them.
How's he feeling
Obviously,
1 week out?
Huh?
How is Triple G feeling 1 week
Wonderful.
out?
He weighed 163.6 or 8 the other day, right before we ran, so he's feeling good.
Abel, the hand reps, the tape was leaked from the inside the locker room last time. We've talked about this before. Nevada allows the tape and gauze. You don't wrap hands like that way, but kind of with all this coming up, are you staying the same even if you can do it? You're wrapping the hands the same you always have? No difference, no change?
My father always said 2 wrongs don't make a right. I'm gonna do what's fair and legal and what is the standard practice for our business. Just because one diva is making it different and doing it different doesn't make me want to change anything.
All the animosity that's been happening, obviously, like Chepo's been talking as well. He's talking about, like shutting your mouth. You've said stuff to them, all that.
I haven't said nothing to them.
Oh, true. Actually, I'm sorry.
I have not said nothing to him. What I've said is about him testing positive.
Right, true.
I've said that, in my opinion, he ran. I've said that he waited until 3 weeks before. He tested positive 2 months before our fight on the 5th, and yet he waits 5 weeks to release the date so that we can't get a fight in Vegas. Okay, that's what I said. If I'm lying, then somebody needs to tell me, but I'm telling the truth. I have never insulted them. I have never said anything derogatory towards them. They're the ones that are coming at me, but that's okay. I have to consider the source.
With all the back and forth, I guess my question is, going into fight night, like that animosity, I mean, you have to go into the locker room, right, and check the hand wraps, all those things.
Coming up next week?
I think so, yes. No, you know what? There's no animosity. We are professionals. This is probably my 200th World Championship fight. My concern is for Gennady Golovkin. My concern is to be at 100% for him. Make sure that I am in tune with everything that's going on and make sure that I'm paying attention to everything that's going on so that he is the same way. But there's I hold no ill will towards them. I hope they do the best job they can. I just hope they come to fight and give the fans what they're promising.
What does it say about what the public really wants when there was a delay with Mayweather-Pacquiao? People were saying they weren't going to watch, but yet they all hustled to go find a place to watch it. Now, after the steroids controversy, people were saying they weren't going to watch the fight, but excitement is building, and everybody that I know is going to gang up and go somewhere and watch the fight. So,
I think that the anticipation of seeing what he looks like after the controversy of the steroid thing, I think is something in people's mind. They want to see if it's true. They want to either, some people want to see him punished for what he did. Some people want to see if it's true, and other people just think that he's going to be a better fighter because of that. But I think that the controversy fuels that demand and fuels that willingness to want to buy it or want to go see it.
Abel, Tom, this is for both of you. On your Reddit AMA, you mentioned that you think that Gennady has 4 to 5 fights left in him. With that in mind, how many fights a year does Triple G want to fight, and who do you want him to fight next after Canelo?
I think at that level, with all the great ones, I'll just say the great ones of today, say Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, even Vladimir, if they don't have a mental challenge that challenges them, because they're all physical challenges, they're all get in shape the same way for the fights. If they don't have a mental challenge that a fighter that brings that out in them, it's difficult to say how many fights, but if we can get those challenges for him so that he's motivated to go to the gym, because the gym is the hardest part, the training camp is the hardest part. They're in camp for 8 to 10 weeks, and they're in camp doing the things they've done for 20-some years. That gets boring, that gets old. If they don't have that challenge, it's difficult for us to say 4 or 5 fights. I'm hoping that Tom can produce those challenges so that we have them for 3 or 4 more fights.
I agree with Abel. Gennady feels challenged. He feels that Canelo is the biggest challenge for him right now. The 2 best middleweights fighting against each other, and they push each other. But if he's successful next week, then there's other great challenges in the middleweight division. Now you got Murata, who's doing fantastic TV ratings over in Japan. And so many other, Billy Joe Saunders is still out there, undefeated champion. So there's so many other great fights out there that, after Canelo, we'll see if Gennady feels challenged. And physically, he's 36, but the way he takes care of himself, 3 years, 4 years wouldn't be out of the question at all. But, it just really depends on the challenge, like Abel said.
And Abel, you've seen the fire in Gennady in this training camp?
A lot of fire in his eyes.
Yeah, you know what? We had a fight against a young man named Curtis Stevens. And Curtis Stevens, his people started posting some stuff on the internet, cemetery plots and stuff like that, and it upset Gennady very much, and it upset his brother very much. And I see that fire again, and in that fight, he punished Curtis. He could have knocked Curtis out early, but he punished Curtis. He wanted to make sure Curtis understood that you don't do that. And I see that again in this particular fight, and I think he's very upset about what's led up to this point. Why there is that kind of animosity? Why? Because of the positive test of the things that he's said and done. And I'm talking about Canelo, about the fact that he delayed releasing the date so that we couldn't fight on the 5th. All those little things are gnawing at Gennady, and I think that that's going to cause him to treat him just like he treated Stevens.
After the first fight, you guys had a great promotion. You were hand in hand, basically doing everything really well. This one has gotten really ugly. Are you surprised at the things that Oscar has said that has come out of the Golden Boy camp, just on a professional level?
Well, one thing that Gennady made a point of is that even though he's been very critical of Canelo, it was about the testing, the positive testing, the excuses that Canelo's made. He's never said anything personally negative about Canelo. It's his belief, however, Gennady believes that Canelo tested positive. But the thing about the national anthems and that he's not patriotic, that was a little bit of a stretch. I don't know where Oscar came up with that one, because the anthems are going to be played. It's just HBO feels that especially when there's 3 anthems, I mean that's 20 minutes. That it's just like a big speed bump, between the co-feature and the main event. There's no disrespect to the anthems at all, but they're going to be played before the HBO pay-per-view, so everyone on the free stream will see it on the preview show. Everyone in the arena will see the anthems, and then the HBO pay-per-view will start just like
it was done today.
Just like today, or at a baseball game. You don't see the national anthem
in the middle of the 7th inning.
Bottom line is the disputes are going to be resolved Saturday.
Right. Absolutely. And to answer a little more, I think that the insults and what Eric called me a crackhead. Really.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. And Chepo calling me pendejo and all.
He called you a donkey.
Well, it's the same damn difference in Spanish. But anyway, if somebody could point something out that we've said in that realm, I'd welcome it. All we've tried to say is the truth, what's happened, and if it's a lie, then please tell us it's a lie. Please show us.
We're protecting Triple G's position.
Yes.
It wasn't Abel. Even though Abel got blamed for protesting about the gloves, he didn't even get a chance to look at the gloves.
I haven't looked at them yet.
Do we have a resolution on the gloves yet at all?
The Nevada Commission has ruled that they're not to be allowed in this fight. The California Commission, from what we understand, they submitted to California Commission. The California Commission won't approve them for any fight. So it's not just Nevada, and things like that get stretched out when we just want to have the focus in the ring. We don't want to have any controversies outside the ring. We just want the focus inside the ring and a level playing field, and between these 2 great warriors.
So we don't have to worry about a glove issue next week.
No,
not a glove issue.
No.
What were your guys' thoughts?
There might be other issues, but not the.
About the national anthem thing, though. Like, what was kind of your first reaction?
That was a stretch. Like, really? First of all, he's a fighter. Okay, he's a fighter. He warms up in the dressing room when he was in his heyday. Let's say he warms up, and then comes out and stands there for 20 minutes waiting for those anthems to be played. It's not only not fair to him and the other fighter, but it's not fair to the audience. The audience is all revved up after the fight right before. They want to see the main event. So, I mean, something's got to. I don't get some of the things that he says, but then again, he's acted kind of strange as of late. So,
it'll be an interesting fight week. We got the grand arrivals on Tuesday, It'll be the second time through the whole promotion where Canelo and Triple G will be at the same location on the same day. Maybe not the same time, but Triple G has no problem looking Canelo straight in the eye. Apparently, Canelo's the one that didn't want to have them at the same time, the same place. But you know, we got the Grand Arrivals. We got a great fight week planned. Grand Arrivals. Then we got the press conference on Wednesday. Then we got Rusa Madaev fighting
Thursday
against Kano Thursday on ESPN. And then the weigh-ins on Friday, open to the public. Weigh-ins open to the public. That's at the T-Mobile Arena, inside the arena on Friday. And the Grand Arrivals at the MGM. That's also open to the public. It'll be a good fight week.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Last question.